Itagat kara jitab kalenjin kebertana tane boang na bangala lenyon kimiten ko bata Emily Korir inendet ko CEO noton nebo A to B agora ko CEO BET Global Group and inendet kimiten kai Kass agobo tindianenyin en betut noton nebo rani legi agoi kagoit iboisien mashinit noton ibuse machine inendet arawek somok en sipitali mukoteben chito kole kingeten on disability kai Kass ko kit kityo nekibit all of a sudden yange misconduct ikasu then things have changed ana kakowalak tuguk kakowalak sobet en yoton yono now en keberta nebo oeng Emily kaimangu en sipitali kangalalak noton ko itau it 1 2 3 emache iwetestage MBA ya MBA nguni kotomo inyoru the stroke ko ketinye imwa ile ukiyai kasitab HR so kaimangu en sipitali what happened kiweke kasit noton nebo HR ana kile machiwe back to school
So while in rehab, I did my MBA anyway, long story. But now it's time for me to get discharged from rehab, awaga. So in Australia, if you have any kind of a disability, lazima gonyo occupational therapist gonyo goger court to make sure it is safe. You're being discharged to a safe environment. So gonyo OT koi our first house negikiteche in Australia. So as a migrant, yetech court, it's a big thing. So gobwa ga koger court agolenjerab Korir modifications ko nyolu keyai especially for the taps because remember care paralysis on my right side. In a thin bag up to now I don't have feeling but I have full function. In a thin bag go warm or hot with this hand. So ginyolu ko modifying the whole taps, the whole water system in our home, the bathroom ninyon for me to be yes, a lot of modifications. A kitchen, kogi very expensive. Remember,
modification.
Yes, a lot of money. So agi bote ilarab Korir ko single fathers ko inege negiribe log. My mom came, kigigochi my mother actually carers visa, konyo Australia nyugo ribon. I really am grateful to Australian government for doing that. Amunginyo mama go work for 6 years. So muches ke na maisha again. So kole arab Korir magi muches it was about $40,000. Magi muche magitinye $40,000 to modify to modify the house. So inge renten go inyoni agebe komboan an accessible house. Kecheng an accessible house to rent mommy. Kole arab Korir koni ngialde ngoi asiba kial an accessible house sige discharging kinamis kecheng an accessible house kial mommy and now that's the business that we do because we satagele ndaye chegi kichenge god mommy in South Australia so gigibare it's a South Australian problem lakini from our research it is not just even an Australian issue, it's a global issue. Mommy koariche enough che public disability, especially custom built houses to match your disability. And that's what we do now in Australia. We build accessible housing for people with disability and we also providing support in those houses for people with disabilities. And kitinye 300 staff and 4 states in Melbourne, so Victoria, New South Wales, Western Australia, and South Australia. And what we are doing, kichangeni narrative for people with disabilities because people with disabilities deserve to live in nice houses just like anybody. They need style. We are bringing style and class into disability housing. That is what we are doing and we are passionate about doing that in Australia. So we've looked at Kenya and a month ago I won the global CEO in the disability sector in London. And when I was in London, we talked about housing. housing for over 50s and housing for people with disabilities. It is a global issue that governments must actually come to the table. It's conversation in Nyolu. Government, we were excited to see housing, social housing was happening in Kenya.
In Kenya, yeah.
And we thought, amazing. So we really want to know if people with disabilities have been considered
yes.
in this social housing. We are looking forward to talk to National Council tomorrow to see if that has been done. If it hasn't, it is something that a government should consider.
Mara ejitana mache go Google about the company in Australia.
BET, BET, like BET, but BET Group Global. So Bernard Emily Tanui.
Oh, wow.
Global.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, BET Group. And then the children got Cheve, Tagivit. So the last 3 letters of their names is BET, BET. So it's BET, but it's Bernard Emily Tanui Global. And when we did global, in the name, Kogigiyo ina global for Kenya. But now we are globally been requested to be a part of New Zealand, wanataka NDIS, Singapore, and while we were in London, we had conversation with Canada. And it's amazing what having the right house, coming from the right house, that is built for you. You can do so much more. Yeah. You're able now to go out and look for a job because you have the right house.
You have the right house. Yeah. In fact, in Kenya, many offices in Kenya, and
it's not accessible.
They get accessible. Mara a wheelchair, for example, the bathroom.
Yes.
That provision. We still have a long way to go. And housing.
Absolutely.
Mara wheelchair. Kapal got a meet in 7th floor. I'm elevator.
No.
Yeah,
it's very sad.
So you get a maisonette and accessible with that all that movements. So kitken Australia go tos piru chita simoit a person in need kole kimachi design and we got the chitane this type. Yeah, amomara Marajita go disabled like a mommy in wheelchair.
Yeah.
Those obesity the needs and whichever it's a standard and jitaga to disabled in a way.
Okay. So in Australia, about 10 years ago, they changed how people with disabilities are receiving supports in Australia. Nguni gotinye scheme negiguren National Disability Insurance Scheme, giguren NDIS. That is how people with disability in Australia receive support. So let's say it was me, a disability, kegonen diagnosis. You must have a diagnosis from a doctor. Yega is the diagnosis, then is it access to NDIS, your forms and your reports from your doctor. Now the NDIS themselves will look at your report. Agole, yes, actually Emily deserves to have an accessible house. Giguren SDS, specialist disability accommodation. Agole, Emily will have this house, kiliboni $50,000 a year for your house. Now go out and find a registered provider because you have to be registered SDA provider for you to build these houses. So then I would, as Emily, take my plan, kigon in a plan. In your plan go maybe 100,000 a year. It's in this plan. This is 100,000 is for support, 50,000 is for house. So iwe icheng provider o burtuan agole okay uong kogilege tegun got ne amunitinye
requirements.
Yes, the requirements kochu. It will take us 1 year or 6 months to do the house for you. Munakubaliana, muna sign, muna jenga. Mige neguren respite. So alen chita somebody like me now negi me rehab or ribe. So instead of waiting in rehab, you as a provider imuche igochi an accessible house or a respite there while we wait to build this other house. So the Australian government has come up with the best, I think, in the world way of providing support for people with disabilities, because for the first time, people with disabilities got a choice and control. Before Kogi government, let's say, nguni in Kenya, the funding for disability go 1.2 billion for 1 million Kenyans with a disability. In Australia, go 4.4 million Australians getting a disability currently. Kina men 22 billion, we are now at 44 billion, almost 60 billion for these people. But because everybody wanna consider you as your disability, and not just now, they look at future as well, and they look at your goals for the next and what needs to be done. So you got now in Australia, Komagi going before Gilelen government, I need 20 billion Anglicare or which disability in this corner. Here is 30 million for Anglicare, Baptist care, muchunge awa sasa, hiyo pesa inapatiwa the person with the disability. Alafu wewe, the person with the disability, you go and choose which company with that money kuribin. But then also the accountability, there's a lot of reporting for you now as a provider. Nyo lui borchi serikali ile ki choosing an Emily as the provider, and now kigo no 100,000 for 1 year. Here is the report. Kyo Emily, this supports this day, land may go to the last cent. So there's a lot of accountability, which is amazing for people with disabilities. For the first time, people with disabilities have choice and control of who they want to live with, where they want to live, and who will provide their support. And if I come to your company and Mary Bongo me, I have a right to go to another one. So it's the best thing for people with disabilities. We are so happy because a country like New Zealand, they want to copy the Australian framework. The system, Singapore wants to copy that as well. And I think Canada is looking as well, because it is the only way that actually people with disabilities are included in the choosing of supports. And it's amazing because now families also can manage that plan. So you don't have to actually even go to a company to manage the plan for you. You as a parent can manage that plan. How are we using this money? Yes.
In your biography, about A to B. Do you want to mention that?
No. No. Okay. So that was a partnership that we had in the beginning, the build of the business, but we decided to take that back and we do it on ourselves.
Absolutely.
Now. Yeah.
Now, I'm in time the business. You can imagine we almost done with an hour. Then a little encouragement.
Yes.
In chita negerin, chita nemio limbaga, chita nata nebo atogolenen less disadvantaged in a way, in any form. Ageta gere bas. Maisha na nyuna migitio kuomba na namigitio lenen, and I pity myself. Alandagi male amoni could find me mara mi chita nginyo accident barabara and the life changed. Mi chita mara ne kinyo wrong diagnosis, life changed, you know, any form of disability. Nengola never encouragement to them,
So ane kotiger maisha na nyun kongeten ginomingin ki mo nyolu atomiyu. A lot of shame is my mom brought a lot of shame to the family. But mom chose me. So anybody in me, you know, whatever you're going through, na ile ochoba kabisa. Kotisa agibagoti choba agilenji choba inye negi mutuan angena ne ole emugule danyunale magoni njoba gi ne memuche and matiba gach ngalek che moe bi ana ilegertem bi chamge inegen ire epsigis actually we have in Kalenjin we have the best greeting in the world. The first thing we say is chamege. You have to say chamege missing. I love myself. Amungo ti chamege ko muche ko chaming big even more. Lakini go ti seret agi gerile o gira seret ki gibagaktan kialian atinye kelewondoni ingen Jehova ene ako imutin Jehova kit neimoche isa ak inai ile ine Jehova kokonin above and beyond kabisa. Ane families ongecham biik chetinye disability matiuny lakwet matingoi koibu lakwet. Kibwane Kenya kimache keyai education kabisa, kimache kikochin lagok chetinye disability scholarships sikoba high school asikoba university asipesyo kobwa Australia akichek with their disability kobwa nyoko koyai kasit because in Australia very inclusive. Mi kasisiek chebo biik chetinye disability. Mi sukul, they are very accommodating. Accommodations are made and I also want to ask the Kenyan government to consider kabisa inclusion. The fight for inclusion goes on for people with disabilities. They are Kenyans as well and they deserve to have accommodations, public buildings, private companies. Are we meeting the 5% when it comes to hiring people with disabilities? A lot of people with disability they have masters lakini makikochin kasi
an opportunity. Absolutely. So magat kubit ko consideren serikali en ngalekaran chebo kora boisionik kurat na mongora kasit ab college ngomnye kaiger kaigas akobo tindiot noton nebo Emily Korir na it's a life touching story ne relatable en chito agetugul. Ibwa challenge na nibune lamaga challenge ne kila betut ne itinye opportunity kobaten mitu kete golden na gimachi boisien those excuses ilaye mara sami asamsei kwa munguni ako chito ne chito na ko chito muche kwal ngwek ne na ko til ngwek akwal da ko telelji konyor kit noton ne makinge kitakinge ana kitakinge kora ko ngalekab vision 2030 ak kechang plans chebo kegeren emet noton nebo Kenya. Ne appeal kora netinye missing amun kaitinye kobo ile nyalo bit ko consideren en ngalekab employment biik che tinye disability mborokwa. Mara netu kala che ngigere matunegu Australia and New Zealand ak matunegu alak ko tanyalo kobit ko adopten niton go government nebo Kenya as far as kigere la gitaret niton go biik che tinye disabilities mborokwa. Yes, Emily.
So, as a government, I'm excited. I understand the National Council is no longer a part of the CS. I think it's now on its own. It starts on its own. I got in a budget. So now that there's a budget, I think the government should really consider, especially children, engage early intervention. Early intervention when it comes to autism can change the life of a child, can change the life of a family. So early intervention, I would really, really, really pray for that. And also for rehabilitation. That is rehabilitation on all angles. Kagile now, brain injury in Kenya since boda ilianza, there is a lot of brain injury from accidents with boda. Rehabilitation is actually a poverty eradication tool. Got rehabilitation in every county. They meet straight away after an accident, let's say on a boda, because remember this boda also the main income earner of that family. And last mile connectivity. Kabisa. So if we can make rehabilitation really a mandatory, amuna ogitinya universal healthcare, which is amazing. Let's make rehabilitation mandatory and free as well. So that way, anybody that gets a brain injury, like either from stroke or from boda accident, they're able to do rehabilitation and able to go back. They might not be able to go back to ride the motorbike, but they will be able to go back and do something else for the family. So it's a poverty eradication tool, rehabilitation.
Yeah. Kwagere something in your biography as well. Committed world leaders, Barack Obama.
So actually, Obama is a very nice man, a very good soul. So in Australia, he came to Australia and he wanted to meet leaders, to have lunch with leaders who are making a positive difference, especially in the social impact. And we had just been featured, and we met him, and it was the best thing that happened in early 2023. And we say, won after meeting Obama, the floodgates opened, and we won the Telstra Business Award, and we won many other awards after that. But his advice to us was patience and active listening to our clients. Active listening kabisa, si ile tu unasikiliza kwa sababu mtu anataka kuongea nawe, but actually listening and being a social solution-oriented company. And that is what we have done and continue to do, is to really listen. The clients drive this business, our business, the client drives this business, and our teams, we have the best teams. And about 80% of our staff go pick up kutit. So gimachege moengo ngwe kabisa pick up kutit chekibwa ako rip kasi. But lakini atao pia kiketoret kabisa liban school fees, imuche koyok rabinik kobwa gaa, imuche koliban deni chebo family in Kenya. So we are changing the narrative, not just for the clients, but also for our staff, and especially pick up kutit. We are very grateful, we are happy. Kichomeka pesa. Mi saitaganege mi boardroom ko keep chep the whole meeting in Golenjin, but we are in another country, we have to do it in English. But we are very grateful, and Kitinya amazing staff. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Marakutama kitegetar Emiligo, I see you have a book, Against All Odds.
Yes.
Maybe you can tell us about the book.
So this book is a memoir. It's a memoir. It's a story na nyun. Lega mwaite gigisik John up to today. But in igeri kitabuni igere gori chuba suswege. So this is where my values are based. And my values and what I do as a wife, as a mother, as a boss, as a CEO. But then in Atanan, this is what I have gone and done. I have disrupted kabisa the corporate culture. Yes, and speak if you are from Sot, especially a girl from Sot, you are not meant to go anywhere. But this girl is disrupting the corporate and culture and changing the narrative. So hope, please, the book is on Amazon.
Amazon, yes.
Yeah, and Mr. Bore has one now, and he'll tell you a story about it later. Thank you. We can talk on Zoom about it. Yes, yes.
Maybe you can
it's autographed already for you. Already, to Stanley Bore.
Thank you.
May this book inspire you. And as you read my memoir, just remember God is in the details.
Oh, amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to receive it.
Yes.
Oh, wow. It's an amazing book.
Yes.
Thank you so meet an online copy in Amazon.com.
Yeah. It's against all, or on our website is againstallodds.com. And there's a Netflix movie series coming. So
so we'll
see you soon.
Account, stand by.
Yes.
Maybe parting words. Tatache Bernard very soon. Housing.
Yes, he's your expert.
In housing. Mara mititane nyoru ngalalan in YouTube badai. Go kasa tawangala agenge the contacts marago email or something before then marago a parting word ni mo ni chitap kwa lenji jitana tanegerin rai jitana struggling with something one thing or the other kasa go laye this attack ndegi matinya nginda maliana could be doing better in email natana bakanya anago dature legeren this link negit natani mo chini entrane.
By parting words, please don't give up. Please don't give up. Never give up. Pray. Let God be in the details of everything that you are struggling with. Everybody, life, kina very low, but I never gave up. Kimwoe my batiem kole, don't let anybody else's perception of you become your reality. So ondale being ine matigas. In meeting just know you are what God intended you to be. Don't give up. Ask for help. For me, you can find me on Facebook, Emily Korir, public figure on Facebook, or if you go to betgroup.global.com.au, there's an inquiry there. You can write to me. I'm in Kenya, so a little bit slow in replying, but my team in Australia will reply for any questions. I saw some people from my citizen interview, Liza, about school fees. Let's be very clear, we are only doing it for people with disabilities. Any disability and you need a scholarship, please contact our office and we will let you know how the process is going.
Absolutely. Wow. Thank you so much, Emily. Tumeshukuru sana. Ago konka munka icher chita nota ne imuch kutinyi gisin kubune tu karanche uwenen maisha nota na nyine kagere bike changa ago serengro koske en Royal Tunnel by Eldoret. Amangol ganyoru contacts ate pegole ye unengalaga alaba isionek en Olimba Australia. Gale katanya tupje nyine ma baiseten South Australia. I think alami South Australia. Bas kwa mangale mucho warejan the office in yatanya nasobita ke check kunyor ta bika changa chaka mo la sante ko ga besa en quantity set na go wen cheer set no tan ke go na chibit ta brain aga jitana ga tep kala galo tagane gali ganyor accident ba bike border kala gede ka wal the narrative
Good.
kala mun marwen get 24 hours so mucho ga gita ga tan mucho ko tare tagne so kuna jita kala nyinga tage ta che Emily en kasartana tan miten Kenya ko telebo studio so ko goni ngaliana tan ba cher se tagni agor gara ndami Australia ke muchi ke wesen ore tan ba Zoom ana go Teams so bit ke ngala jinen ko ratul ba ngage nyoru ngaliana tan ba cher set amun every soul kila lagi yech ko mache encouragement mache bitagi gochi ki mo ngaliana tan ba hope ago ke mi ngana ngeti nyina ba the power of our tongue gila na ninyo jutana marane chibela kwenye na mwa nga lecture and palatable ago imuchi igere tilen something normal but it has power igere mujita gara ingete gila suba gilen kache nga sit 5 years 6 7 years mo nyoru gasi I'm useless walena na will put you down
Absolutely.
amun kila ngibake tulen I'm useless that bell keep ringing so gongo amun my nuge you kept forging and moving and we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Keep touching lives, changing. God will bless you. You are a living testimony.
Amen.
Thank you so much. And kimingana nige mwa kegere one of the tube. Nige tinyila kitana tane about something about disability and ability.
Let not disability be a barrier to success. Because disability, really look at the ability, not the disability.
Yes. Absolutely. So thank you so much, Kongoi.
Thank you.
And barana nege na tinye busy schedule imi leba Kenya. Agunga munge to Kass TV. Tage taji ngorenga sartage so with Kenya lal juto na kechango. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Kongoi.
Thank you so much, Kongoi. Atindi tunatande ba Emily Korir chitab kala jina tanaga sine ba gobit ko cheren. Wigiri tane na nara ne batama na en weekend go sirta bituna tanegi boatien ingwan kamogol lago ba pika dan jitinye ga mutik welutike mboro kwa ga sile mongele mego nuge imuchi yagi yene tan yani ngoti muchi ko bite inakto ngatem point yago b ko don't give up itepte notanga maunet live with hope yagi git notan muchi ko wal ago taret ko ragne citage notan ne urubege ton so gitu kruta ngalalan tan ne matian ko bitu ngalalan tan ne ore notan bo YouTube so ma mago ke notan ngalaran the Tiger Kass TV kana nyon ko Stanley Bore sai sare